Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the best podcast for the business and marketing side of the sawmill, lumber, and wood industry. What's a woodpreneur? If you have a business where you make money as a woodworker, sawmill owner, selling slabs, or a content creator, then you're a woodpreneur. My name's Steve Larosiliere, and I started Woodpreneur Life, Acres of Timber, and the Woodpreneur podcast just for makers, wood entrepreneurs, and small business owners just like you. We're on a mission to empower thousands of wood businesses to grow sustainably and put out great products. Each week, I interview makers, sawyers, content creators, and 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs that know the wood industry inside and out. With topics covering everything from the urban lumber movement, sustainable sourcing and design, we'll discuss the ins and outs of how to grow, monetize, and fully immerse yourself in the woodpreneur lifestyle. If you're a hobbyist, a full-time wood business owner, part-time entrepreneur who wants to become a content creator, or quit your day job to pursue your dreams, the Woodpreneur podcast is just for you. Thanks so much for listening. Now enjoy this episode. Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. Is your host, Steve Larosiliere. Today's guest is Kory Robison from Robison Home Builders. How you doing, Kory?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. Hey, why don't you tell everybody about how'd you get started?
It's kind of a long story, but I grew up in the construction industry. My father has had a custom home building company for forever, since I can remember. And so I kind of grew up in the industry, going to the job site, being the cleanup kid as a young kid. And then I went to school for a little bit for construction management, and then got out of school and realized that this is kind of what I wanted to do. And so I've taken over the company and been doing it for about 12 years now.
Wow. When you decided to go into the industry, like what made you want to get a degree in construction management? Why didn't you just kind of continue on the path? Like, why did you decide to go down the education route?
So to be honest, I didn't finish school.
Okay.
I got about 2.5 years in and kind of realized that I could learn the same thing by working on the job site. I had kind of a shoe in to a company, obviously, with my dad. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a decision where I was like, well, I could stay in school or I could actually start working and start learning on the job. So it wasn't that I wasn't learning in school. I just felt like I was wasting my money going to school when I already had a job lined up and a company to kind of work with, and obviously take over in the time being.
That's cool. What, this stuff like listening to you and or just knowing what I know in the short time that we've talked and looking at your work and your website, like you've been exposed to high level, big building, detail oriented, lots of little steps along the way to create something. Like, do you ever sort of sit back and be like, oh my God, I am doing a lot? Do you ever think like that?
It's funny. Since I've kind of been around like high end custom homes my entire life, it's just all I know. Like it's all I've ever seen. But I've had people ask me that same question before. It's like, man, you're young. I'm 35. Like, how are you building $7 to $10 million homes? And I look at it, it's like, well, building a home is building a home. There's blueprints, there's plans. Just the more expensive they are, it's just more details, more detail oriented. And so it's the same blueprints. It's just you have to have a different mindset and be more detail oriented and more quality focused when you get to these higher level of homes.
What growing up in it, you saw the way your father ran it. How are you sort of putting your own spin on running this? Like, what are you doing more personally, professionally, or to develop yourself into being a better leader?
I think more of kind of being not more hands-on, but the company's grown substantially since I've kind of taken over. And so I haven't been able to have as much of a hands-on role in every single project. So it's more kind of teaching my employees what a certain type of customer, when they're paying this much amount for a home, what they want to see and what they expect.
Yeah.
And so it's just been more of like a teaching and managing instead of me actually being on site every single day managing a particular job.
Yeah. 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 So like more of like a mentorship
Hmm.
role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
How how have you had mentors yourself? I know that, obviously your father might have been a mentor, but have you sought out other mentorships yourself?
Um, I've had a business coach for the last year and a half or so that's kind of helped me kind of navigate through going from a $12 million construction company to almost a $40 million construction company in 5 years. Like
Wow.
I've we I felt like for the first little bit I was kind of shooting from the hip trying to figure things out. Like we were growing so fast that I
Yeah.
just needed someone that really wasn't my dad or someone that wasn't particular in the construction industry, just to
Hmm.
help me kind of understand like how to run a company of this size. We went
Yeah.
from a mom and pop little construction company to a full blown like multi-million dollar
Yeah.
construction company. So that's been a huge help to me is having a business coach.
What kind of mindset do you need to have to run a $40 million company? I know you said a little bit about mentorship and guiding people your hands aren't in. What other things have you had to um, learn and do and be? Like, actually, who do you have to be in order to be that, run that kind of company?
I think I've tried to keep the exact same uh, persona or personality or whatever it may be that I we were when we were a small company. Honesty, integrity. You be there when you say you're going to be there. Keeping kind of the same old school like mentality as we've grown has probably been the number one thing that I've tried to instill in myself and also my employees. That's like, yeah, we're a bigger company, but we come from a mom and pop, like small construction company, and we're going to keep that. That's what made us who we are.
Yeah, yeah. So maintaining your core values was really
Hmm.
important along the way.
Yeah, I told myself that if we started losing like those core values of like what made us what we are, I would
Hmm.
scale back immediately because
Yeah,
it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to lose quality, to lose trust of my clients, to lose what made us good. The second
yeah.
I start losing that, like I will scale back and go back to a small company because it's just not worth it.
What do the systems in the back office look like for a company of your size? Like, I mean, you do you have a like a COO? Like, who's your right hand? Like, who's running the sort of the day-to-day operations?
Yeah, so I obviously so how my team is set up is there's myself, the owner. I have one project manager. Him and I kind of like oversee all the jobs from like a bird's eye view. And then I have
Hmm.
five superintendents whose jobs are to be on site every single day. They're running anywhere from two to three jobs at a time. And then I have three, I call them hot shots. They're kind of just like handymen. They they just help us with whatever we need. Any random projects, they're our guys. And then I have uh she's actually my older sister, but she runs all my office, like all the booking, all the bookkeeping, all the billing. And she kind of runs everything behind the scenes, makes sure we have money and knows what kind of keeps us all in line.
And then you have subs that sort of
Yes.
that help
Yep. And then
fulfill.
yep. So my team, we just manage the projects, and then we have a nucleus of subcontractors that have worked with our company anywhere from 10 to 30 years. I have a couple subs that have literally worked for our family company since I was 3 years old.
Wow, 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 wow,
Yeah,
wow.
it's pretty fun. It was very interesting going from this young kid on the job sites, being around all these guys, to then kind of going and them working for me. It was an interesting transition, but you know, I wouldn't be anywhere without my subcontractors.
Um, So, and these homes that you're designing and selling, or you're contracted
Nope.
by clients?
Yep. I don't have any in-house designers or architects. It's clients come to us sometimes with plans already, or they want to use architects that I have relationships, and then yeah, we just build the suit, whatever they want. We'll handle it.
From start to finish,
Yep,
everything.
from ground up. Boy, my I from the second you dig the dirt to the day they're moving in with furniture and landscaping's all done, we're kind of an all-in shop for that.
How many homes are you building at once?
Anywhere from 8 to 10 is kind of like our sweet spot. Last year got a little crazy. We had up towards of 15 going at a time, and that was just too much for us. So I
Wow.
like to be in the 8 to 10 range. That's each project manager has 2 jobs at a time is about all we can handle.
Wow. Yeah. Because there's so many details.
Yeah, and when you're getting into these 4, 5, 6, $7 million homes, there's just so many details, and your mind just can't handle all that information. And so if you have 2 jobs, that's about all you can handle. And sometimes our jobs are I have a job an hour away from another job, so there's travel time, and getting
For
from job to
sure.
job takes some time.
Do you ever what lesson did you learn from cranking out 15 homes last
Oh,
year?
we learned a lot. I learned that you can't it's impossible to grow fast. Like I took on too much work, and we definitely did lose a little bit of quality. We lost a little bit of we lost the giving the client the experience that they deserve a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I tried to push my guys more than I like. And yeah, we
Mhm.
learned some very valuable lessons on it.
That's interesting. And especially too, like if you're able to do 8 to 10 in a year, that's a good sweet spot that you can obviously predict what revenue will come from that, but
Hmm.
then your quality can improve because you're doing the same thing over and over, right?
Exactly. And it's more not pushing the subcontractors too much, giving them too much on their plate. Because again,
Yeah.
like we're not doing my employees aren't the ones out there using the hammers or putting in the trim work or anything. That's a subcontractor. And if the subcontractor is too strung out by our other jobs,
Yeah.
some job is gonna fall behind.
Somebody's gonna, yeah, that's really, really fascinating. I also too realized, like, I right before I was gonna hire somebody, and I told them, what are your systems like? Could you handle more work than this? Because oftentimes, I mean, unless you're like Amazon or Starbucks, right? That's almost designed to scale it. When it comes to custom work, it's really hard to scale quantity, right? Unless you
It is.
move into a production height, but then the price decreases, right? Like,
Right, and you lose quality when you get into the production side of things. I feel like you lose the quality.
yeah, yeah. So when you first started, well, when you took over, did you expect to be where you're at right now?
I didn't. It kind of caught me by surprise. We had a couple out here in Utah. We have something called the Parade of Homes. It's every year we can
Yeah.
put in a home, and the whole state can pretty much walk through it. And we had 2 homes in a row, 2 homes 2 years in a row that were just they knocked it out of the park, and they just pretty much took us off like a rocket ship.
Wow. Wow. And you do something on your website, which is, I always tell people to do. Like, you make videos of your homes.
Hmm. I think
Um,
I think videos are the best way to pictures only show so much. Videos
and it's
you can
flat too.
actually
It's flat, you
yes,
know?
exactly.
Yeah. 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 How, so aside from the parade of homes, like, what has really helped take off for the business?
Honestly, that's it. Just we've done the parade of
Yeah.
homes and word of mouth, and that's really
Mm.
all the marketing and it. That's really the only marketing we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you concentrate on a specific region, or is it all of Utah?
We're kind of like northern Utah, so south of Salt Lake, Park City area, and then an area called Utah County is kind of
Okay. Yeah.
where we're based.
Could you attribute a lot of the growth to like people leaving California or
Hmm. Oh yeah,
other areas because you know Utah's beautiful, right?
yeah,
So
and honestly, that's at least 70% of the work that we've done in the last, since COVID has been out of
Mhm.
state people. Moving
Yeah,
out of California, moving out of some of these other states, coming to Utah. The
yeah,
and we haven't had that many out of state clients ever before.
yeah. That's wild. That's wild. Um, and tell me about one of the things that you're most proud of.
Um, I think I'm just most proud of kind of like where the company's at right now, and that we're able to
Hmm.
sustain the growth that we've had.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm able, like I said earlier, I want to be able to keep the core values of the company that the company was started on 40 years ago. And
yeah.
so, yeah, I'm kind of most proud of that. We're still building some of the most beautiful homes in Utah with some of the highest quality you can get.
That's awesome. How do you tell me? Can you walk me through a typical day for you?
Um, Typical day, I wake up pretty early. I hit the gym every day. I have three kids and a wife. Get my kids ready, help my wife get the kids ready. I'm out the door typically by 8 o'clock. And then depending on the certain day, I try to get to job sites. I am not an owner that just goes and sits in an office all day. My truck is my office, and so my job consists of going to the job sites, checking in on superintendents, making sure that we are on top of the job, that we're on top of schedules, that we're getting things done, and mainly just supporting my superintendents, making sure they have what they need from me. If I can help, if I need to help sweep out the house that day, like I will help sweep out the house that day. So, and then I'll spend typically an hour or two in the office later in the afternoon, just trying to catch up on bids or any emails or bookwork, stuff like that, and then get home, spend time with my kids and my wife.
And repeat.
Yeah, repeat every single day.
uh, and eight, 8 to 10. So you always have something to go and visit.
Yeah, yeah. I try to get to at least two or three jobs every single day.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So every week, I will get to every job at least once, if not twice a week.
And so the job gets the a client comes to you. They're like, I got this architect. This is what I want. You put together a bid. They say yes. You take a deposit, right? Or
Yep.
whatever the terms are. And then it goes to like you. I'm assuming you and your project manager like help pull that together. Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll once we have a set of plans, we get a bid together, sign contracts, like you said, go to the city, get permits, and then while the home is in for permitting, I'll sit down with my project manager and we'll kind of create a schedule for the house. We'll figure out which superintendent is going to run this job, whether who's
Got
going to
you.
be closest done, who's done with the job, who's getting close to being done with the job. Sometimes our jobs overlap. It's never
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Like you
yeah, yeah,
finish a
yeah.
job, you
So
start
it's
one the next
so
day.
it's maybe one person might have like two and a quarter, right?
Exactly. Or
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
I have to help get this job
Kicked
started
off. Kicked off.
while
Yeah, yeah.
someone's finishing a job. It just never works out timing. So
For
yeah, we'll
sure.
create a schedule, and then yeah, we hit the ground running. We dig, we pour foundation, and just get going.
Yeah, and then so once it's contract, you have the timeline, then you have uh sign con or and then you have permits and then you start engaging all of your subs, telling them all of parts of the project, right?
Yeah, essentially, like when I sign contracts with a client, I'll usually send out an email to all my subs and say, "Hey, we just got awarded this job. Here's
Yeah,
my rough time frame of when I think we're going to start." And then
yeah.
my guys, we've been working together long enough; they know kind of how sequentially it will work from there.
what's really cool about what you're saying is that like your little ecosystem is providing a lot of opportunity to a lot of other companies as well.
Yeah, it is. It's honestly, it's a lot of weight on my shoulders.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel
Sounds
that
like, yeah.
weight. Like I care very deeply about my subcontractors because without them, like I'm nothing. Our
Yeah.
Robison Home Builders is nothing without our subcontractors. So it's a lot of weight to be able to. There's a lot of guys that rely on us to provide them work. So yeah, it's fun. It's great relationship. Some of my closest friends are my subcontractors.
Yeah. 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 How, I mean, how do you sort of manage that weight?
Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if I do, honestly. No,
You lift
it's
heavy weights? You lift heavy
yeah,
weights?
yeah. I
Yeah.
work out a lot. It's more just kind of like take it one day at a time, and it's you never know what the world's going to bring. You never know what the economy is going to do, and we just keep our
Yeah.
heads down, work hard, and do the best that we can, and work will come.
Um, did you ever have a somebody, a client not like meet their payment milestone?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not fun.
Yeah. Not fun.
It's not fun.
Feel like I got a contract and we have, shovels in the dirt
Yeah,
and I need to get paid.
yeah.
Um, and I'm assuming with a lot of custom homes, the margin for oops things is it low or is it medium or is it high?
Um,
As opposed to a
I
remodel, because you know how you do a remodel and then there's always something that
There's
happens, or
always
there's
something,
like,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
With
I believe I my opinion is there isn't a high tolerance for oops, but
Mhm.
it's you're taking a piece of paper and you're building a building off of a piece of paper. An
Yeah.
architect, as good as an architect can be, they're never going to be perfect. So there's always going to be things like when you're erecting a building that is going
Yeah.
to be different than what's on the plans. And so it's not so much I believe that it's an oops, but there's always going to be problem solving and and changing things and doing things maybe a little bit different. That could be maybe an oops, or
Mhm.
it's just it ended up being a little bit different than the plans. But I feel like one of my greatest strengths is problem solving. There's not a lot that I haven't seen in the construction world that yeah, maybe it didn't work out this way, but let's look at it this way and maybe let's try this option. And
For
most of the
sure.
time it works out.
For sure. For sure. What does growth look like for your company?
I
I
don't
mean, if it's
I
not 15 homes, what would it be?
my next goal is I don't really have a desire to grow the company anymore. I love where we're at. I want to stay steady, 8 to 10 homes, but how I'm going to measure success is how happy my clients are at the end of the job. If when we're done with their home, if I have 10 homes and 10 out of 10 clients are ecstatic, then we did our job. But
Mhm.
I can't say that we're 10 out of 10 right now. We do our
Yeah.
best, but so that's how I'm going to measure success for the next few years is we're going to just stay 8 to 10 homes at a time. And I'm just going to make sure that clients are happy at the end of the day, at the end of the project.
Yeah. How do you uh ensure, like, or I guess what is the communication cadence like with clients?
Um, as far as what, like on a daily basis?
Just how often updates, that sort of stuff.
Every client is different. I have a couple clients that they're literally at the job site every single day. They love it. They're very intrigued in their homes. It's enjoyable for them to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I have some clients that are very involved. I have one client that lives out of state right now, and we literally never hear from them. We talk to their designer, and there are kind of means of contact. But besides that, I hardly, and maybe a few emails here and there. So it's kind of client based, but for the most part, like we have like a group thread, a group text message with all of our clients, with myself, superintendents, and designers. So there's always a
Yeah.
line of communication open to talk to make sure things aren't getting missed and design details aren't getting overlooked.
If you start looking at areas in which you can start achieving like higher client satisfaction, what do you think of those areas would be?
Um, I think hmm, that's a good. I think more just every client has hot buttons.
Yeah.
Every client has things that they want to see on their job site. One may be
Yeah.
different than the other. And so we as a team need to do better of like, hey, this client's hot button is they want their job site to be 100% immaculate every single day at the end of the day. Like some
Mm.
clients want that. They go walk their house every night and they want it perfectly clean. So sometimes that's kind of hard to do when you have 10 trades on a job site at a time using saws, painting houses, like painting the house. Like it's impossible to keep a job 100% clean, but that's what they want. And so we need to do a better job of, you know, do, uh, taking care of what the client and what their hot buttons
Yeah,
are.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's super interesting. What have you embraced technology in terms of like organization in the business?
A little bit. Yeah. I have a couple, items of software that we use. We use like a project management software where like all of our documents and files for each project are on that
That Builder Trend?
software. No, I haven't actually gotten into Builder Trend. It's called Basecamp.
Oh, I
Um,
use Basecamp. I
yeah,
love Basecamp. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Basecamp is
cool.
like Basecamp is the best one that I've found for like project management. Everyone can collaborate. It's easy,
Yeah.
easy to use. And
You can
then we
assign
also, yeah,
to-dos.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
sweet. It's I've been using it now for about 2 years, and it's been the best one that I found. And then I also
You're the
use a
first you're
new.
the
Oh,
first person outside of like tech
yeah.
or like consulting that like especially in the trades like I or home building construction. You're the first person that I've
Oh,
heard use
sweet.
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
heard of a lot of builders using. A lot of builders use Builder Trend. I just I haven't been able to get on board with Builder Trend yet. And then I also use a new software for my accounting. It's called Adaptive, which
Okay,
is
I never heard of
really
that.
sweet.
Did you get off of QuickBooks?
It's integrated with QuickBooks, so we do all of our billing through QuickBooks, but then they run like a it's like an AI generated like billing system. We
Huh.
just barely got on it about 2 months ago, and it's like it's cut my office girl Rachel. It's cut her time in like half doing all of our billing.
Huh. Adaptive.build, is that what it
Yep,
is?
adaptive.build. It's
Okay.
unbelievable what they do. We've been very happy with it.
So you sent you so like you send bills or people send pay you through that or you send bills out to
We
clients for
send
them?
we send bills out through that. So like with QuickBooks, like everything's like coded, and you have to like
Yeah, yeah.
code this to that, and so just there's so much time just in like data entry. So how this
Mm,
adaptive works is they have like an AI generated like coding. So we just send our invoices into our portal essentially, and it
mhm,
automatically artificially or intelligent, however they freaking do it. I don't know how they do it, but it just codes
mhm.
it for us. So it takes all the coding out of our side of things and it does it for us.
That's cool.
It's
That's very,
sweet.
very
I've been very happy with it.
that's really, really, really cool. Yeah, and I guess from your perspective, you're really around like if you have 8 to 10 that you're working on at a time, and that's 8 to 10 in a year, correct?
So that's 8 to 10 at any given point of the year because most of my jobs they're longer than year builds, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
building, we're building. I have two homes right now that are 25,000 square feet. Like those are 2.5 year builds.
Wow.
So, but at any given point throughout a year, we'll have 8 to 10 homes going.
And so you're really around like quality project and client management on your level. And then
That's
you
all it is.
and then you've delegated so like in every and so then you have your project manager that's overseeing the whole entire flow And then on a job level, you have superintendents that manage two, maybe two and a quarter, like sites, and they're in charge of like maintaining the budgets, maintaining all of that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get pretty involved in the budgets,
Yeah.
along with the superintendents. But like this, yeah, the superintendents, like their job is day to day scheduling subs, meeting with designers, meeting with homeowners on a day to day basis. I try to get to a lot of those meetings as well, just to keep my relationship with my homeowners and designers.
Yeah.
But I'll show up to some meetings and I don't know what the heck they're talking about. Like they're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
design. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'll give my input,
For sure.
when I'm asked.
For sure. For sure. And then successful completion, and then boom, rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah, then we're on to the next one.
That's so
And
cool.
that that's what I love
It
so
doesn't feel,
much.
it
Yeah.
doesn't feel so laborious, right? Like it feels like you are able to use your skills at your highest level and making sure that like that the client truly gets what they want.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Well, and that's what I love so much about building custom homes is like we'll finish a home and it could be the coolest home we've ever built. And then like the next home in line is like, holy crap, like this home is completely
Yeah.
different style, completely different design team. And we're on to the next home. And it could challenge us in so many different ways, but it's completely different than the one we just finished.
When I'm curious, so like if you're dealing with different clients and different designers and different architects, but your core team is the same, are you onboarding people? Are your clients or are the designers or architects, are they in your base camp, or is your base camp
Huh?
only for you?
No. So like when in our base camps, like typically sometimes the architects are involved, but a lot of the times like the architect draws the plans and then they're just kind of like not really involved in the project
Yeah,
much
yeah,
more.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like the design team, like our interior designers, they're on Basecamp. They have access to everything we have access to. They upload their design team or their designs. So
Yeah.
it's all collaborative on our Basecamp.
So cool. So cool. But you don't have any designers in house, do you?
Nope, I don't have any designers in house. I have 3 to 4 designers that I do most of my work with, just because a lot of clients will come to me and say, "Hey, what designers do you like?" And then I'll
Yeah,
give them some that I enjoy working with and that we've worked
for
with in the
sure.
past.
What makes a good designer, in your opinion?
Um, I think the designers that I enjoy working with the most are they care about the client's budget,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm ultimately responsible for the budget. So if I have a designer that every time we turn around they're going over budget, like it doesn't work. They take care of budget and then they're realistic. Sometimes designers are like, "Hey, here's this picture from Pinterest. I want you to build it," and it's like, well. Where's the information? Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
I can't just like build a picture.
yeah,
So yeah, I think design, and then a lot of the designers we work with, I have great. My team has great relationships with, so it's just easy meshing and kind of working together because ultimately we're all on the same team. We're all on the same
yeah,
team to deliver this project for our clients, and if we don't get along and have a hard time, then it's not going to be a fun experience.
yeah, yeah. Cool. So this is a part of the podcast where you get to ask any marketing or business advice. So is there anything that you're struggling with that you could, that you need an extra set of eyes and ears on that I can help you with?
Um, I would say a couple things. Like I'd be interested to know like what other like marketing things could a custom home builder like myself do. Like I said, like I don't do any marketing besides the Pray to Homes and our Instagram. Pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think, I mean, if I was on your website, I'm kind of been a big fan lately of I've been a big fan of storytelling, and so I know that when you look at I'm looking at your your videos where you interview your clients.
Hmm.
What I think you are missing out on are is text. So you need blog posts and
Oh,
articles to go
interesting.
along with each video. And so because right now, although you may be getting, let me see if I could look at your, if I look at your, I can't see how many views you have, but like for me, I'm like, you just need some stories, like
Right.
more stories, like stories about builds, stories about progress of builds, stories about you, your culture. That's one. The second is getting more involved in your local community. So I don't know if you're sponsoring things or showing up to things and putting your name out there a little bit more in terms of local marketing, but especially like, so if you build in a particular region, like a sort of a workflow is you document the build, right? From
Hmm.
start to finish, you write about it, and then you take the video and the articles, and then you throw ads on it, obviously with permission of I mean, it looks like your clients are giving you permission to make videos and posts about it, right?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
you inherently have permission to do it. And then I would like run Google ads and Facebook and Instagram ads in that same area. So like I always like to say is, I mean, you probably know this, is that like money likes company, right? And so if you're
Hmm.
building in, Park City, and you build in a particular area, there's a really high likelihood of chance that you can sell another one within a short period of time, right? And what you need to do is target those people. So one is write more articles. Two is to sponsor more, uh, like basically advertise and get your brand awareness, increase your brand awareness by sponsoring and advertising on things. Because like if you're selling, you know, $5 to $7 million homes, um, you need to, like, I would literally be at the places where those people are. And I
Right.
don't know if it's like a ski resort, like, or a private club, or like something to that effect, but like that's where I would spend the money. And then the third thing is take that package and then just like broadly advertising. Even if you spent, $1,000 a month on just taking those videos that you have and then chopping them up and then posting ads on them, I bet you'd probably get a lot more leads.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never thought about that. I've never thought about doing like Google ads or Facebook ads or anything like that.
I mean, you didn't have to, right? And
Right. Right.
you don't have to. But if you want to build like a fortress of leads and build up demand, what could
Right.
end up happening is, I mean, it sounds crazy to say that if you're too busy, then you're not charging enough. So therefore,
Right.
if you make yourself busier, then you can still do the 8 to 10 homes and potentially even build up a waiting list, but then charge more money per home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
So that's those are the three things that I would do. I would do. I mean, this is very easy. It's a very simple project where, I mean, I'm looking at the video. The homes are ridiculous, but like you write blog posts and articles around that. You optimize your website for more of those searching. You build out a strategy to get your name at like literally the wealthiest people. If there's like a charity golf tournament, like you're a sponsor. If there's a
Right.
tennis if there's a tennis tournament, you're a sponsor. If there's like a private club, you're figuring out how to get you to be a speaker or something, right? Like if there's like a business networking entrepreneur, I saw that you were like a 40 under 40
Hmm.
for a place, like I don't know, like that should be more known that you are a 40 under 40 person. Like
Right.
you should
Right.
be, but I kind of get the sense that you're a humble guy and you don't really want
Yeah. A little bit.
you
A
don't
little
want
bit.
to flex too much on people. So
Right.
um and then the lastly is like package it all up and then like literally run ads based off of it.
Okay. That's a good idea. I'm going to do that.
Cool. Awesome. Was that helpful?
Yeah, that was very helpful. It was awesome.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, tell everybody your website and your Instagram so they can follow your work.
Yeah, so our website's www.robisonhomebuilders.com, and our Instagram is just at Robison Home Builders.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Kory, for
thank
your
you.
time. Congrats on all of the success and the growth that you've taken in the past 4 years. That's really, really incredible and super impressive.
Thank you so much.
I hope you and your family are proud. That's
Yeah,
really
we are.
cool.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you so
man.
much, man.
Appreciate it.
All right.